In the West, obviously, look, it's the Nuggets at 54.5. Fine. I'm surprised the Suns sit at just 51.5 games, given all of the talent on that roster. Yeah. What that tells me is that they're factoring in the potential for injuries during the season. And you have to. Kevin Durant has become injury-prone now. Look, he's getting older. It happens. Bradley Beal, watched him on the Wizards for years, I can tell you. Bradley Beal will not play a full season. And then even Devin Booker misses, a decent amount of time for a younger player. So that's really going to hamper that. At first glance, I will say I'd probably take the over 51.5, but they could be a 54-55 win team maybe and still be ready. They're going to focus on the playoffs. They will sacrifice wins in the regular season to be healthy for the playoffs. But I think I still like the over at first glance because it's only at 51.5.
Yeah, I'm kind of sold that the Suns are going to win the NBA Finals, but I'm not sold that they're going to win 52, 53 games because I don't think that's the goal. But I don't want to bet the under because of what you said, right?
I mean, you have all
that talent, and who knows? Like maybe this year, Bradley Beal does want to play 70 games because he's on a contending team. Kevin Durant should not play more than 60, in my opinion, because the goal there should be you want him available for the postseason and you want him to be 100% because he's the best scorer on the planet when he's healthy, right? I couldn't do it with their win total. Like, what I would do, and I wouldn't even do it with the Nuggets, man. You know what I mean? Like, not saying there's going to be a finals or championship hangover, but what's the motivation for these top teams that know that they have the talent to win the finals, to go out there and win 55 games? Because that's just not today's league. You know what I mean? You just really have to be a top 4 seed in the West. So what I like to do is, like, scroll down a little bit and look at teams that I think are being undervalued. The Kings, we talked about them last night. They're 8-1 to win the division. I like them a lot. Over 44.5, over 45.5. Obviously shop around. I would love them to win 45 games, and I think that they're going to do that. That's a 50-win team, in my opinion. Pelicans, same win total, 44.5. Those are the kind of teams that I want to target.
Yeah.
The Thunder, because they're young. Their stars don't need a whole lot of rest. Like some of these teams atop the board, even like the Bucks in the East, the Bucks are getting older now. Middleton's coming off an injury-filled season. He's in his 30s. Giannis, every single season when they get to the playoffs, like that was my concern with them last year. I said that after the third week. I was like, Giannis's usage rates are insane. It's like top 4 all time. You know what I mean? And guys get burned out. So I would look for like those younger teams, if that makes sense. Even like in the East, Cleveland, 50.5. They could be a 52-win team. I don't know if I trust them when they get into the playoffs, but I sure as hell trust them in the regular season to go out there and be motivated every night to win games.
I just wouldn't rule out Chet Holmgren or Scoot Henderson. Holmgren because he has just a tiny advantage having been around a team already for one season.
Yeah.
But Scoot Henderson is a bucket. If that guy averages 22 a game in Portland, if Dame does get traded at some point, that's going to give him all the opportunity in the world, a ton of minutes. He's not going to be in a position where he's getting the big spotlight playing up there in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
Time zone difference, not a lot of national TV games. The Spurs are going to get more, so that'll help Wembanyama. But look, a lot of people didn't think Scotty Barnes was going to win that. A lot of people did not think Scotty Barnes was going to win Rookie of the Year. And that completely changed. You thought it was going to be Cade Cunningham. He got hurt. Jalen Green went out and scored. So, there is just... I just wouldn't rule either one of those guys out, but I'm with you. It's easy to fall into that Victor Wembanyama love because the kid is as unique as any player we've ever seen before.
But, man, I'm going to disagree with you here. I don't want to try to beat Wemby. In fact, I'll just take the minus. I'm not a big, hey, I'm going to lay, minus 200. In fact, minus 230 right now odds. I would rather take Wemby than the field. It's so rare that we get a player like this, right? We haven't seen anything like this since LeBron. And let's say maybe it takes him a little bit to figure things out on the offensive end and he only averages 10, 11 points. He's still going to give you probably 8, 9 boards. I think that's the floor because he is so big. I know he's skinny.
Rebounds aren't glamorous, though.
But the blocks, man. I think his floor could be 3.5, 4 blocks a game. And I know that that's not a sexy stat, but how do you stay away from something like that? And who knows, maybe San Antonio is a little bit more competitive. I don't think that they have to be a playoff team. And again, team success doesn't matter. But if they win 36 games after the disaster that they were the last 2, I don't know, man. I think that they're going to want to give him this award. You know what I mean? They're going to want to give him this award. Not a big Sean Clifford guy, but at least at Penn State he did win games.
I'm a Sean Clifford guy. He looked great in that first preseason game.
I know. I'm trying to talk myself into it because I think we might get a lot of them tomorrow, and I have a lot of money on the Packers.
Yeah,
the Packers and the Jets are my big bets this weekend.
I thought you were on the Raiders, too, with Aiden.
Well, we like that, too.
Okay.
Yeah, but my big ones, Packers, Jets, and then Commanders, which I'm actually trying to get more money on. The problem is this is down to a 1-point spread. This is about a pick right now. But I think Washington ends the streak. What is it, 21 straight for Baltimore? I think that comes to a close on Monday night.
I want to tail you so bad on that, but that's my team.
We're going to be here on Monday. You got to tell me.
I know. I'm going to have to.
You're right.
Do
anything too crazy. Maybe just like $1,200 to $1,400.
Oh, that seems about fair.
Toss it on the Commanders preseason.
I mean, listen, I do bet on my teams, but it's rare, only because, I got to have a really good feel, but I'm also just still jaded, you know? I've been down this road so many times. The Sam Howell conversation, I was listening to, we got 2 Odyssey sports stations here in D.C., and I was driving in, and, that's the whole, there's people that are like, Sam Howell is the real deal, he's the future, and then there's the others that are like, we've been down this road a million times. I've been down this road a million times. It's some quarterback from somewhere that wasn't drafted really high is going to be the future, and it's just not how it works.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about Kenny Pickett as well, because if you look at his touchdown passing prop, it's a really low number. You could get especially if you look offshore, you could find a 17.5. And I know last year 7 touchdowns, 9 picks. He's a winner, we know that. But do you think maybe that was just because he was a rookie? You think maybe this year they kind of take the handcuffs off and open up the offense a little bit, allow him to push the ball down the field? Because I really like the wide receiver room. Obviously George Pickens as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, go back and even look when those interceptions happened.
Yeah.
Most of those interceptions all happened in the first half of the season when he was figuring things out. In the second half of the season, he threw 1 interception the entire time, and he was building up his touchdowns. And like you said, he was not taking as many risks. The Steelers were basically under the formula that was listen, the way that this team is going to win is with defense, is creating turnovers and not giving the other team turnovers to give them a chance to get back in the game. And that's why they had such a limited offense, because Kenny Pickett was learning it. But now this guy has been a quick study. I covered Kenny Pickett when he was at Pitt for his last 2 seasons, and I saw the growth that the team had around him, the natural leader he is, the studier that he is. He's a student of the game of football, and he is ready to open this offense up. All training camp, they've been taking shots down the field, shots down the middle part of the field, things that they did not do too often last season. I think you're going to see an offense. I bring this up a lot on the Locked On Steelers podcast, but when you look at their numbers last year, they averaged 18.1 points per game. That was 26th in the NFL. The biggest thing, I think, that if they simply have one drive a game that they normally would have a field goal from last year that they turn into a touchdown and make it a 4-point difference per game, you're talking about 22.1 points per game. That doesn't sound like a whole lot, but that would have been 14th best in the NFL last year, which if they are the 14th best offense in the NFL this year and the defense is a top 10, top 5 unit, that team is going to be a playoff team. They're going to win a lot of the games that are on their schedule, and I also think they'd pull off some upsets over some of the better teams in the NFL.